Hey guys, hope you're doing well and staying safe. We're missing you all in these crazy times. Things are a bit different, but hopefully today we will have a bit of encouragement for you guys. As we know, it's very uncertain and we know that a lot of you will be feeling anxious. So today we're going to talk about anxiety. But so I want to talk from 2 Timothy 1 verse 7, and it says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind."
Yeah,
so relevant for now.
it is really relevant, and like Sam mentioned earlier, we're in uncertain times, and uncertainty causes a lot of fear and anxiety for a lot of people, which is totally a normal response. However, we don't need to be sat in anxiety. We don't need to be kind of feeling overwhelmed by anxiety, because that scripture is so good that that's not what God intended for us to feel like. And with anything, we have the privilege of going to God in prayer. So if you are anxious about anything or anxious about the future, what's going to happen, then we can just pray about it and just hand that all off to God, because He's pretty awesome like that. And
it also says about like having a sound mind. So when you're anxious, you're not of a sound mind. You're thinking kind of irrationally about things, overthinking things. And then going to God, praying, meditating on that scripture brings you back to that.
And the way anxiety works is that we get these intrusive thoughts, often quite negative, that pop into our head. We can't control what comes into our heads, what thoughts come into our heads, but we can control whether we think about them or not. So if an anxious thought pops in, you have a choice whether to sit and dwell on that and build that anxiety, or you have a choice to say, nope, I'm not taking that thought, I don't need that thought, I'm going to hand it off to God and pray those scriptures, or pray.
It's about like being aware and having that filter.
I like that.
So when you hear something, when you see something, whatever it is, it's about having that filter, capturing it before it becomes
a big thing, which is much harder to deal with.
Preach it.
I will explain a bit about anxiety and where it comes from, because that might be helpful for some of you watching it. Anxiety comes from our fight or flight response. So God has given us this response if we're ever in danger. So for example, if you are stood in front of a giant bear, your body will get ready to either fight it or to run. So that is a really helpful response to have if our life is in danger. However, when we get stuck on those anxious, intrusive thoughts that I mentioned earlier, when we get stuck on those and we become really anxious, it can trigger that physical feeling to anxiety, which often causes our hearts to go faster. We can get quite sweaty, we can get quite dizzy. So our body reacts physically to what's going on in our head, and that is a power that anxiety has. And often when we have those physical sensations of anxiety, it just reinforces that fear, because we're physically responding. We kind of think, oh my gosh, it must be true, it must be a real thing, when actually, like Sam said, let's capture those kind of negative thoughts to prevent them from becoming too big, and we don't get these kind of physical responses to them.
And just following on from what Chloe said about like the power of the mind, so you can have those feelings and it feels as if it's real. Speak life into a situation, speak positive things into whatever you're going through, the thoughts that you're having. You want to speak positivity into it.
Just want to encourage you guys, because at the moment we can all have things to be anxious about because it's so unknown. We are going through a crazy time. However, we don't have to be anxious, and that is how good God is. Although the whole world seems to be really frightened at the moment, as children of God, we don't have to do that, and what a blessing that is. So I just encourage you guys to just recognize your own anxiety or your own worried thoughts, and just try and kind of take a grasp of that and run to God with it.
That's what we have to say on anxiety. We're keeping it short, keeping it sweet. But as always, guys, we will be praying for you. We hope you're staying safe, and if you need us, you know where we are.
Got any questions, just ask away. We love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
Welcome to our first, oh my gosh, what was that?